Hey, what is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and we are coming back with another video, so y'all already know what's going on. Cat meowing and stuff in the intro. All right, y'all, look. Today, I want to bring another clip from Jaguar Wright in the video, right? Now, it's coming from the same podcast as the Orlando Brown video and the two other Jaguar Wright videos we did. Now, I know. I told y'all I wasn't going to keep hitting y'all on the head with Jaguar Wright. But look, she said something very interesting that I want y'all to hear and I want to react to. And this is not, this is not really something that's, I guess you could say is industry related too. But this is something that we know that is happening every day in our world. And it has to do with trafficking. And she told one of those gut-wrenching stories, just her emotion behind it and talking about it. And it also relates to this movie that we spoke about a little bit on the channel, which we'll get into that a little bit later after we listen to the clip. So soon as I heard her talk about it, because when they release stuff with them, I don't know, I guess I feel like on that podcast, they get them to really talk about stuff. So I was like, you know what? I immediately gotta get this clip, bring it on the channel, see what y'all gotta say about it, right? I think y'all gonna find it to be really interesting. So I'm not gonna talk too much in this intro. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into this clip. Then I'm gonna come back and talk to y'all a little bit more. So check this
out. Diddy's not going to jail. He said,
I can understand why he would say that.
Yeah. Can you break that down a little bit more? Why you think he said
Well, considering that the is selling his own God evidence that would put him in jail against him on the dark net to the highest bidder. Why would he sell evidence of his debauchery and savagery? Why would he sell on the dark net his tapes of all the just terrible? Wanna know why? Because he doesn't intend to stand trial.
Is he protecting people or are people protecting him?
Oh no, he's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas, and he just sold that footage.
How come you think it doesn't get leaked to the public?
The dark net?
Yeah,
because of the dark coin. Most people don't even know that the dark coin exists. But that's how they're trading for all of the flesh they sell. Which is why I became so outraged last year when the twins turned 16 and he had them dressed like prostitutes and then he auctioned them off as NFTs because the NFT that he sold them to was attached to that dark fucking coin. It was like a promissory note to sell his daughters to the highest bidder.
Now, real quick, before we finish the rest of that clip, I myself have never heard of the dark coin. I tried to do a little bit of research on that, and I couldn't really come up with anything. I found something that mentioned something about a dark coin, but it wasn't what I was expecting. So I didn't want to cite where I looked at to try and find anything about it. Now it makes sense because if that is true, it lives on the dark net, then that's probably where you can find information about it. Or it's something that if you know, and you won't know unless you have a certain amount of money or you're into what is being traded by using this so-called dark coin, right? But another thing I thought was interesting that she said Diddy is selling these freak-off tapes because he needs the money. Now that goes back to what I just said on the video with the footage of him beating Cassie. And shortly I talked about the fact that Diddy may not even be a billionaire. But remember, Orlando Brown told us as well, they have a certain amount of time to have the money that they have, to spend the money. They can't spend a certain amount of money. They can't give it away to normal people. None of that. All kind of rules and restrictions. And we all know it's not really their money anyway. Regardless, Diddy is controlled. And a lot of people say that he's an FBI / CIA agent, Fed, whatever you want to call him. And that's why he won't really face any repercussions from all this stuff anyway. But it would make sense if he's really selling this stuff on the dark net because he needs the money, then obviously he's not in control of his so-called billionaire status or billionaire bank account. So that, proves everything that I've already said. And shit, honestly, we don't really know what's going on the dark net. We don't really know what's going on with this stuff with people who have access to this kind of stuff. So that story being true, it could very well be possible. Like, I don't doubt any of this stuff. Y'all just saw the footage. Y'all know what kind of dude he is. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like anything that comes out about Diddy now, we could relate it back to that lawsuit with Cassie, and you should just believe it all. It's very possible. Besides all of that, Diddy has definitely been into much darker stuff. And, I just don't think that this is far from the truth about, what she's saying with this whole dark coin thing and other celebrities being on these freak off tapes that he has recorded for years. But we'll go ahead and watch the rest of this clip where she gets into an interesting story about trafficking. Now, this is the part I really wanted y'all to hear. So we'll come back and talk about that a little bit more and wrap this video up. Didn't want to make this video too long, but I definitely want y'all to hear this. So check this out.
You see movies like Hostel. Do places like that really exist?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do the things that go on in places like that exist?
Absolutely.
Shit. It's funny because
there are 3 women I know right now in my life. They've been in my life for 6 years. I've been caring for them for 3 years. I got them off of Epstein Island. I cannot say where they are in the world. What I can say is when they got into the boat, they were roughed.
Wow.
Want to know how they ended up on Epstein Island?
Yes.
Please.
They auditioned to be models for music videos.
Oh, casting couch.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID. And they collected their passports. And then they drugged them. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting fucked by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online.
Yeah.
Wow.
After they made it through that, that's when they were sent to Rick Ross's music videos, shoots, as groupies and extras to make sure that they could walk around in society without looking like victims. And then after that, that's when they were shipped off to Epstein Island to be broken in and to be readied for Dubai and Moscow. When they got into the boat, and I looked at them, they didn't have to tell me shit. And neither one of them, none of them, they didn't speak for weeks. But when you spend time with strangers and they finally feel safe enough to go to sleep and then they start talking in their sleep and you hear the shit that they yell.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because as you sit here and we talk about hostile and
these 3 girls that I'm telling you about were in videos that are being played online today. And they appeared in those videos after they had already been sodomized, systematically beaten, starved. But they were smiling in those videos, though.
Yeah, it's crazy because, you sit here and, we got your story before where you actually said you seen what a saw does to human flesh, like having a saw. I mean, we got Terrence Gangsta in the building too as well, and he literally said he's seen the same thing, what he's seen a saw, what it does to human flesh. And I'm like, I don't know what it does to a person's mind or psyche when they see that in person.
It changes you.
Like,
it changes you.
Now, that's the type of story where you have no reason to deny it. You don't need to know who the girls are. It coming from Jaguar Wright, like a lot of people, say she's not creditable or, they don't believe her stories when a lot of the stuff she's been talking about is coming true. But this one in particular, when we talk about trafficking, we already know this goes on. Casting couch in the industry. She said it right there. A lot of girls that audition for these music videos, so on and so on, they end up caught up in that ring, or they were caught up back in that Epstein ring, getting shipped to Epstein Island, Dubai, Moscow, which we know overseas, this is billion-dollar industry of trafficking, especially to Dubai and Moscow. There's been plenty of rumors of, your favorite artist or female artist today flying to Dubai. Even y'all remember that footage of Cardi B when she was in Dubai exposing the industry and stuff? Y'all want to put that in this video just for context? Hair was all wild and she had a couple handlers standing around her. A lot of people thought she had just got done, doing what they get shipped over to Dubai to do. Now, she wasn't shipped over there being trafficked, but she probably had to pay her dues over there to them rich billionaire princes and all them dudes over there as well.
I would turn down 100 million because loyalty to my God, loyalty to my people, loyalty is so important to me. But evidently, it's not loyal. Ain't no loyalty to these niggas. These niggas, a bitch with a bigger clout, a nigga with a bigger clout, bump through your way and they dick get hard or they pussy get wet. Like, this industry that I'm in is so fake, it's so whack, and it's so hard for me to adapt to because I'm not used to this shit, my nigga. I'm not used to this. I'm used to living my life under an oath. Like, I've been living under oath ever since I was 16. I've been living under laws, on my fine nine brim laws, on laws of life since I was a youngin'. So when people do funny shit to me, it's either I eliminate them or my heart gets broken. And it breaks my heart because for a long time, nobody did some unloyal shit. And I peep a lot of unloyal shit. This shit is wild whack to me. Like, I really hate this industry. Like, I hate this industry so much, but I gotta fight it and I gotta deal with it because I want to show these niggas my talent.
Now, when that came out, that was right when Cardi B was blowing up. I think that song with her and Megan Thee Stallion, WAP, came out right after that. A lot of people already knew what was going on without really hearing her exactly express like what just happened. Obviously something triggered her besides being drunk to make that video. You know, so, you know, we already know Cardi B sold out. She sold her soul. Even in this picture, this is also symbolism of the one-eyed God and who she's loyal to, really. But that's what happens in Dubai. They're sent over there to prostitute. You know, they get trains ran on them. They probably experience it all, getting peed on, everything. These guys are billionaires and they pay top dollar in order for these women, these American women, artists, models, whatever. They all visit. Why else would she visit over there right after she gets famous? This is what they do. This is what they sign up for. You know, whether they know it or not. It's initiation rituals. It's sex rituals. Everything. And that's what happens when they get shipped and sent to these other countries. They pay top dollar. That's what they do. That's what it's all about in that world. And what really made me want to show y'all this clip was, y'all remember that movie we was talking about that's on Prime Video, right? I think it was like Freedom of Silence or Silence of Freedom or something like that. I might be off, but I know Freedom or something was in it. Remember, it was that trafficking movie. Maybe I could pull it up and put it on the screen. I'll have to search for it real quick. But it was on Prime, and when I talked about it, a lot of y'all was like, yo, I seen that movie. That's exactly how they do it. Y'all was like agreeing with me. But remember, there was a scene in the movie where they were basically auctioning off the girls from a storage container. They were in storage containers. That's exactly what Jaguar Wright just said. Now, I'm pretty sure she ain't just get that whole little story from watching that movie and made up her own story, as some of y'all like to think she does. But we had already agreed, you know, and talked about that movie being exactly what they do. Think about that. And that was based off of a real story, a true story. It was like a real investigation. So if you think about the process from casting couch to being trafficked to, you know, Epstein Island, to being shipped overseas to another country, to coming back and forcing you to be, you know, a groupie girl, a girl in a video that you must smile in and act like you haven't been a victim for the past couple of years. It doesn't sound far off because these girls' lives have been stripped from them. And they're trafficking victims. And I think every time we talk about stuff like this, it's a reminder of what we live in. And it'll never get old because the people in power and the people with the money and are that, you know, involved in those trafficking rings, they'll never stop. How many times y'all see like on your local news, 20 people arrested involved in a human trafficking ring? And these be people from the slums you've never seen in your life before. You know, they're just like a little small group who answers to somebody who answers to another person. But locally in your city, this stuff is going on. So you can only imagine what it is to, like, you know, what she's explaining. People in the industry that had to do with Epstein Island and have the real money and power to be able to traffic women. So, you know, I really thought that clip was very interesting from her. It immediately made me think about Cardi B in Dubai. It immediately made me think about that movie. I think it was Sounds of Freedom. I think that's exactly what the name of it was. It made me think about that. It just rung a bunch of bells when we get to talking about this stuff because, you know, just like anything else that's going on in this world, that is something that must be talked about. And anytime we get a chance or we get, you know, some fresh ears to listen to it, you know, I got a bunch of different and new subscribers lately. I think it's just pretty good for us to talk about it. And for the people that want to check out that video I did that was on Sounds of Freedom, that movie, maybe I could put the link in the description, or you could just scroll down my page and you'll see the video. So yeah, y'all, like I said, it's Sunday. You know, I didn't want to make that video too long. So we've had a lot of Jaguar Wright on the channel recently. But yeah, man, that'll pretty much wrap that video up. Y'all let me know about anything y'all want to see in the future on the channel. Hope y'all enjoyed that video. Please let me know what y'all think in the comments. And with that being said, it's Black Balloon. And I'm going to see y'all soon. I'm out.